right, here we are, video 3. We've gone through each of these first 5 parts. These are all about changing the setting files. Now we're ready to come up here and worry about our database settings. So I am going to use Firebase, right? So, and you notice that Shawn gives you a whole bunch of nice hints about what you might want to use. I've used Firebase now for quite a long time. So I have to go in and first, right, go in and get my Firebase open. Right? And these are the things that we're going to do, right? Notice that he also has information on deleting entries, like if you test it, but you don't want your data in there, for instance. So I'm already in Netlify, but let me come in here and go into Firebase. Notice that Firebase is a Google company. Right? I'm already signed in and I already have an account. Big surprise. So I'm going to go to my console. And when we go there, we can see a number of my different projects that I have not yet deleted, right? And I am going to create a new project. So, and again, right, he steps you through all of these things very, very nicely. So I'm going to create a new project, right? And I'm going to call it, I usually try to call it something that is relevant, right? And then we have some more questions. I see Firebase has updated a few things since I was here last. I believe that Shawn recommends not doing the Google Analytics. Let's see. Right, so created a new project, go to console, add my project, did that, got my name, right? And now it says disable our Google Analytics. So we're going to come up here, we're going to disable that, and we're going to create our project. So while it's preparing, we'll look at our nice screenshot instructions. Right? So once I get a confirmation that it's ready, I will click on here, right, and continue. So let's see where we are. Oh, we're still finishing up. Almost there. All right. So hit my continue. And here I am, right, ready to get started. So we just scroll down again. Again, a lot of this software updates, right? So that's why we always use the most recent EQ configurator and EQ web sort packages. All right, next you need to go back to the project dashboard and select real-time database, right? So there's a number of options, but we're going to use the real-time database. Maybe I'll click on all products. Maybe not. So there's our real-time database. So, right, I'm not going to ask Gemini. I'm going to ask Shawn, right? So real-time database, and then click on create database, and then we're going to be ready to set up. Right, so I'm going to create my database. I am in the US Central. Am I Central? I guess so. And here it's very important to follow the instructions very carefully. As I tell like my programming students, there's no such thing as close enough. So here, right, he shows us that we start in the locked mode and we hit enable. So we start in locked mode, enable. And this is basically where later on all of our information is going to be stored. Right now it says null, null just means empty. So come back over here. It's time to do some more things in our database, right? So, right, looks just like that. And now we're going to start working on our rules, right? So we're going to click on rules. And there's our rules. And we're going to end up changing this. But Shawn is, again, so helpful, right? So we're going to edit our rules and, right, we are going to copy exactly this. And we will go in here and we will, I have to click on edit, maybe not. Oh, maybe I have to scroll down a little bit. Do I have to hit edit? No. All right, so there we go. Make sure that this matches exactly what I copied here. Yes, it does. Right? And notice that he also asked you to, right? And now we're going to click on publish. All right, so we're going to click on publish. That's what it looks like. And now we're going to do some more work on setting up our database for storage of our data. So now I'm going to come over here to build and I'm going to click on authentication. I might have to click on project overview first. Right? So, right, and I can always do that, right? I can always go back and find. So here's project overview. So there are my little window, right? We're not going to do any Gemini stuff, right? And now we're going to follow closely, right? So we're going to build and we're going to choose authentication. Notice that since Shawn even updated this, it looks a little different, right? So screenshots are great, but so is reading. So I need to do the authentication. So that's right here. And I believe I'm just going to get started. Right? Right. So I'm going to get started. So that looks basically the same. I'm going to choose anonymous because I already said that I want anonymous sign in. I'm not going to give anybody any codes to get in. Right? So anonymous, and then notice that I clicked anonymous. Now I have to hit enable, and then I have to say save. So now I have anonymous sign in, just like I planned and like I told the IRB, right? And we did the enable. Already looks like that. And now we're going to, this is very important, right? We're going to get the JavaScript linking information. So we're going to go back to project overview and then we're going to look for this little, looks like an HTML um, picture, right? So project overview, right? And here's that little web. And now I'm going to have to register my app. So let's see if Shawn has any suggestions for us, right? So just says, you know, input a nickname for your app and then hit register. So I already called my project Faculty Emotions. So I'm just going to call this Faculty Emotions. And should we also set up Firebase for hosting? Well, we're not going to host our project here. We're going to actually do it on, right, Netlify. So notice that this is not checked. and we're just going to click on register app. All right, here we have to follow instructions very carefully, right? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on, right, the use a script tag. Right? And this is going to come up here. We're going to copy, right, where it says your web's Firebase configuration. We're going to copy all of that. So not everything here. So we're not going to use this little button. We're just going to copy this. And then we're going to have to paste it into here. And we're going to save it in a file. That's so that our our page is set up to communicate with Firebase and send the information there. So we come back over here, right? We use script tag. Here is exactly what he showed us. Here's your web apps Firebase configuration. We're going to copy all of this all the way down to this, as I always call it, the squiggly bracket, right? And the semicolon. So that's all important. I'm just going to then hit control copy. Again, we're not copying everything. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paste it exactly what I copied. So control V. There it is, exactly what I copied, right? And now, right, we are going to click our orange button to save the new file in the settings folder and replace the Firebase info.js. And of course, right, this is going to navigate us there, right? And I believe we are going to save it right there, but I always like to make sure to the text area, then click the orange button to save the new file to the setting folder. So, yep, that's where I want to save it. Got to save things in the right place. So it's been saved, right? And now my Firebase is all set up, right? So I'm going to come back in here, right? I just need to continue to console. So, all right, this much is set up. I have one app. I'm not going to do anything else right now. We'll see how long our video is. I can't tell. 13 minutes. Well, maybe this is a good place to stop and we'll just make another video for setting up the Netlify hosting.